I'm not ashamed to own my Lord, nor to defend his cause. Maintain the honors of his word, the glory of his cross.
Hello, I'm James Brown, and on behalf of the Eastern Church of Christ located in Toronto, Canada, I'd like to welcome you to today's edition of Walking Through the Bible, a podcast where we seek to study the Bible and the Bible alone. Please stick around afterwards for information on how you can contact us. But for now, please go to the book of Genesis, and we'll turn you over to Jeremy Disocam for our study of the day.
Thank you, James, and welcome to all of our viewers. This is the 154th lesson in our study of Genesis. Yesterday we covered Genesis chapter 45, verses 1 to 8, discussing how Joseph revealed his identity to his brothers. If you missed that episode and would like to watch it, you can find it and all of our other podcasts on our website at www.eastendchurch.org. You can also find them on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/EastEndChurchOfChrist under the Walking Through the Bible Genesis playlist. Today we're going to begin with Genesis 45 verse 9 and read through verse 15. The text that you'll see on the screen is from the English Standard Version, but you're welcome to follow along with any version that you have. So let's now read Genesis 45, beginning at verse 9. Hurry and go up to my father and say to him, Thus says your son Joseph, God has made me Lord of all Egypt. Come down to me, do not tarry. You shall dwell in the land of Goshen, and you shall be near me, you and your children, and your children's children, and your flocks, your herds, and all that you have. There I will provide for you, for there are yet 5 years of famine to come, so that you and your household and all that you have do not come to poverty. And now your eyes see, and the eyes of my brother Benjamin see, that it is my mouth that speaks to you. You must tell my father of all my honor in Egypt, and of all that you have seen. Hurry and bring my father down here. Then he fell upon his brother Benjamin's neck and wept, and Benjamin wept upon his neck. And he kissed all his brothers and wept upon them. After that, his brothers talked with him. In yesterday's episode, we had Joseph finally revealing himself to his brethren. It had taken over 3 chapters and numerous tests of his brother for Joseph to do so, but the time was finally right. Naturally, the brothers are shocked with the news and most likely expect retribution at the hand of Joseph. However, Joseph tells them not to worry, for in the end it wasn't them who sent him to Egypt, but God. Now, as we said in the last episode, this does not mean that God was the one who put the evil thoughts into the brothers' hearts, for James 1:13 says that God does not tempt man to sin. However, God uses circumstances, both good and bad, to accomplish his purpose. What was a given was that God was going to save Israel under any circumstance until his promises to Abraham were fulfilled. How God did that was under his control and up to his infinitely wise judgment. God had prophesied in Genesis 15:13 that Israel would be in bondage in a land that was not theirs, and now we're given some indication that that land would be Egypt, although that bondage was still some years out. So as is clearly seen when we obtain the full picture, God used the sale of Joseph into Egypt, an evil act on the brothers' part, not only as a means to save Israel from the famine, but as a means of getting them down to Egypt in the first place, in order to fulfill a prophecy that he made to Abraham. Could God have done this some other way? Or to put it another way, was God's plan dependent on the brothers sinning? No, it was not dependent on the brothers sinning, for God could have chosen any number of ways to save Israel. But he chose this way, so speculating on other ways God could have accomplished this is really just useless. Now that Joseph has shown his brothers that he is still alive, Joseph wants them to go back to Canaan and tell his father Jacob that he is still alive. He tells them that they all must come to Egypt, and when they do, they will dwell in the land of Goshen, some of the best land in all of Egypt. Why did Joseph want them to come to Egypt? Well, there is, of course, the desire for Joseph to see his father again, but more importantly, Joseph told them in verse 11 that the famine still had 5 years remaining. So Joseph didn't want them to keep on having to come down to Egypt for food. Therefore, it would be better for them just to move to Egypt. If you recall, numerous times in Genesis, the patriarchs were warned not to leave Canaan because it would one day be given to them. God didn't want Abraham or Isaac to come to Egypt, and he personally said so. However, this move was approved by God not only because Joseph was relaying to them what God obviously had revealed to him, but because in chapter 46 God will explicitly say so. Following his request, Joseph cries on his brother Benjamin's neck and then cried with all his brothers. This 22-year ordeal, where he was separated from his family, was finally over. He was going to be united once again. We'll find out Jacob's reaction, the Lord willing, tomorrow. With that, our time is up for today. Please join us, the Lord willing, tomorrow, when we will continue our study of Genesis, beginning with Genesis chapter 45, verse 16.
Thank you, Jeremy. And to our viewers, we also thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button below. Should you have a question or comment, please leave them below or email them to answerintheword@gmail.com. We'll try to respond to you as quickly as we can. We hope you'll join us, the Lord willing, tomorrow when we will be continuing on our study of the book of Genesis. Goodbye for now and have a great day.
I'm not ashamed to own my Lord, nor